Well, we do this twice a year on Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend, and it's a time for me to discover what you're thinking about. And I want to preface this by saying, because I'm the one here fielding the questions, that doesn't mean that I've arrived or that I'm enlightened. I'm no different than you. We're all students of life. We're not graduates of life. Many of the things I say, perhaps you might disagree with, and that is fine. I can learn from you. We're teachers to each other. So, that being said, we will move forward with the first question. What's the formal name of this church? Unity Temple on the Plaza.
So far, so good. From the Lord's Prayer, what is the kingdom of God? What's the definition?
The kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven, they're synonymous, and they represent or are symbolic of that highest level of consciousness that we have. And Jesus referred to it as the kingdom of heaven. It was a state of bliss. It was a state of unconditional love. It was a state of true peace of mind. So although it might be a destination where we go after we leave this earth, in its truest sense, it is right here, it is right now in the way we think. And all of us periodically experience that. When Millie was singing 5 minutes ago, we were in the kingdom of heaven. We were in a state of bliss. We were in a state of being unperturbed, undisturbed, and truly at peace and in awe with her singing.
And why is there no cross in the sanctuary?
Well, there's no cross in the sanctuary because we honor all religions. And although we have a Christian foundation, we have Buddhists, Muslims, Hindus, and Jewish people here, as well as atheists. The cross is a sign of crucifixion, and we choose to focus more on what Jesus taught rather than how his life came to an end.
I am struck by how Unity Temple is able to provide a sense of family and spiritual intimacy in such a large congregation. How do you do it?
Well, from day one, our basic belief is this is a place where diversity is praised. I think that we're getting some overrun here.
Yeah. I just don't want to be that close to you.
It's a place where diversity is praised and peace and harmony are the rewards. And quite simply, that means that we accept everybody. All that we ask is that you don't violate the God-given rights of another person. And we also ask when you come into this place, you leave your discriminations and prejudices at the door. And so we are able to come together and join together for a simple purpose, and that is to raise our consciousness to a point where we can be at peace with ourselves and at peace with our world.
Good answer. Oh, I got some money in here, too. Is there right, wrong? Is there good, bad? Is there black, white? Is judgment and non-judgment seem to contradict themselves among us?
Pardon me? That's a long question.
Is there right or wrong?
Is there right or wrong? Yes, there is right or wrong. Our laws spell that out for us. There's many principles in the Bible, such as the Golden Rule, the Ten Commandments, where violation is definitely wrong. I believe any time we violate another person's right to live their life the way they choose without violating the right of another, that's wrong. We're not here to hurt each other. We're here to love each other and to maintain a strong sense of connection.
And I think the follow-on part of that question was that we are taught to be non-judgmental. And how do you do that if there is right and wrong?
Well, judgment is a two-edged sword. To judge another person as not being as good as you, or to judge them as being unfit in any way, is a false judgment. They're living their life the best they know how on the path that they've been given. However, judgment also comes into play as a good thing when we judge our own actions. I go across the street, I see a car coming, I make the judgment to wait until the car passes. And that, of course, is a very simple explanation, but it can be expanded out to almost every part of our life. We judge the situation, and we, from that judgment, call on our specific way to act as a good person.
Will God, the Spirit that it is, actually manifest in physical form, i.e., some kind of Messiah, second coming, calling of the physical manifestation of God in some form? Will he or she show themselves to us?
I think that's all you have to do is just turn your head to the left or the right, and you see the manifestation of God's Spirit. It's in each and every one of us. Jesus never held to be the exception. He held to be the example. And God is not an entity or a deity there that will reappear as a Messiah. God is within each and every one of us, and as humanity evolves, God in God's wholeness will evolve.
A question about forgiveness. How can one live without judgment and forgive at the same time? In order to feel the need to forgive, we must first have judged.
2 points there. First of all, when we forgive, we don't forgive for the other person's sake. We forgive for our own sake. If I have hatred or resentment or anger towards anybody, that's inside me, and it's toxic, and it works against me. So I forgive or I give up that feeling for its opposite. But I do it more for me, because I don't want to be infected with those kinds of emotions. In regards to judgment, I think there's a big distinction in judging the person or judging the action that they took. The actions can be wrong, but the person is still an expression of divine spirit. And that soul, that spirit, that person should not be judged simply because of the action that person took.
What is your middle name?
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question. My middle name is David.
On the way to church this morning, I saw a man carrying a wooden cross up the Warnell Hill. Is Jesus back?
I don't know.
What was there before the Big Bang? Something that could explode?
Definitely. It did.
It's just, I don't think this is a question. It says, we love and acquire wisdom, spirituality, and friendship here at Unity. Thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Why is there so much singing after the sermon, or before the sermon? Let's spread it out. More time getting to the message.
Did Millie write that? Well, I have never been a hymn lover, ever since my early days at the Lutheran Church. But as I've been here over the last 20 years, Steve Perry has taught me it's not so much the hymns, it's not so much the singing as it is that coming into community. There's something very, very special when 700 people are in a room singing the same song. Whether we like the words or not doesn't make a difference. What does is that we're joined together that moment with this incredible sense of oneness. Our service here has like a U shape, and it begins somewhat high-spirited, and then it moves into the special music, and then the lesson leads into the bottom of the U, and that is the meditation. So we have this preparation for meditation. We hit the middle of the U, and that's where the silence comes in, and then we're brought back out of meditation by the music. And it's a process or a formula that works pretty good because it guides us in and it guides us out.